You know, when I was first elected to the Board of Commissioners here in Polk County in 2008, and I won by 6 votes. And so, by the way, you don't think every vote counts, by golly, I can testify. But I came on the board that year with 2 exceptional women, Cindy Walker and Renee McNernett. I don't think they're here, but they were 2 exceptional commissioners to serve with. They both got 4-year terms, and I had the good fortune of a 2-year term, and I may talk about this later, but I thought that was actually a good thing for me. And then I came back for 2 more 4-year election terms. But so, and I thought at the time, here we are in Polk County. Isn't this fabulous? 3 Democrats won that election in 2008. And how hard can it be if we just work, we can keep repeating this? Well, you know what? I'm the only Democrat that's won any of these elections since. But this year, we do have 2 exceptional women running, and I can't wait for them to be elected. And Rhonda, where are you at? Are you? Good, you're still here. Okay, thank you. I tell you what, I'm going to let Rhonda, I know how she is. I don't want her to sneak out on me. And then I'll let Penny speak. But Rhonda, I have known, let me just say, I've known her for many years. She and I served on the CETA board. That's how, and if you want to really see our meeting run right with a crowd that can get a little rowdy, you have an annual meeting with CETA board members, and this is a CETA, Collinsville Trail Association meeting, and it's amazing what Rhonda can do. Well, she comes from native of West Virginia, and down here at the upstate, goes to school there at Bob Jones University, and got business degree. She's head of a human resources with this corporation that has offices, I think, all over the country, apparently. And she's gotten awards, and she's just incredible depth of knowledge and experience in those areas. And so, come on up here and speak. Please, Rhonda.
Thank you, Ray. Boy, if I didn't know me, I'd think I was impressive. Don't listen to everything. Everybody always asks me, why are you running? And I'm going to be real honest up front. Ray said, Rhonda, will you? And only because of my admiration for Ray. And I told somebody prior to this, I said, and no pun intended, it was a ray of hope. Okay? And he was. And it was, because in all those difficult years on the Board of Commissioners, when we were all sitting on the outside going, oh dear gosh, oh dear gosh. I mean, I don't know about you all, but I used to feel so sorry for him. I was like, please don't quit, please don't quit, please don't quit. And yes, he asked me, and I said yes, obviously, and made it through the primary. But the one thing that I want to see for our county, and I think I can do on the Board of Commissioners, is this. There's a lot of decisions that need to be made that involve our county. And the biggest thing that I've been trained to do in business is you better gather all the facts, okay? And my tagline at work is this. There's this side, that side, and the truth is somewhere in the middle, okay? And I think what I could do and bring to the table is a lot of experience, and we call it due diligence. And I know you guys that have been out there in the business world understand what I'm talking about. But you have got to dig, you have got to get to the facts, because there's a lot of things going on in our county, folks, that are going to affect everybody. Whether or not you think they are or you think not, they will, whether they might raise your taxes or they might not raise your taxes. Is it the best thing for the county to do at this time? Is it not the best thing for the county to do at this time? So that's one of the things that I really could say I'm sort of looking forward to, because I enjoy that process and I have been through it quite a bit. But I ask you guys to walk away from this evening, and thanks again for coming, is to tell at least 1 or 2 of your friends who aren't necessarily a Democrat, and I know we all have them, So embrace them and say, hey, do you know so-and-so, Rhonda Lewis, who's running for county commissioner? And just say, you know, you really should look into it. And if everybody will just say, okay, Rhonda, I will. Everybody say, Rhonda, I will. Rhonda, I will. Thank you. One person that's not a Democrat. Think of the difference it would make. It might be those 5 votes that puts me over the top. So I really do appreciate it, and thank you. And Maureen, I'm inspired. Thank you.
Our other incredible woman who's running for commissioner, Penny Padgett. You know, through the years, and I've gone out and talked and recruited a lot of candidates, and we always go down the list. We start this every time. We say, okay, who's local? Who's got deep roots? Who has lots of family? Because, you know what? I think the Republicans, they stop there. And they find them. And frankly, I can't give you explanations of why some of our Republicans get elected, other than it's a local name that people know, and they've got, you know, they got 500 cousins out there. I don't know. But here we have Penny, who has deep roots, lots of family, and native of Polk County. I know you got a lot of cousins, you're bound to. And you're not only a native of Mill Spring, but literally born in Mill Springs at home, my goodness. And how many people can say that? Graduated from Polk Central High School when we still had 2 school systems in this county. And you had the good fortune of going away, getting a fabulous education. And if we were all being very proper, we would call her Dr. Padgett, because she is a microbiologist, has spent a lot of time in public health issues, and working, ended up down at the Chapel Hill. You were the Associate Biological Safety Officer, and then you have since able to supposedly retire, but you're running this shop here in Tryon, the Bookshelf, which has a long history, been there since the early 50s. And so you have all this incredible background and all this entrepreneurial spirit, and you're willing to step up and run for commissioner. And I so much appreciate you listening to me when I called you and came by the bookstore and said, Penny, would you consider, please? So, please, Penny, come on out.
Thank you, Ray and Rhonda and Maureen. And yes, I want to touch on something that Maureen mentioned, and that's public education. One of the reasons that, as a native of Mill Spring, parents who didn't go to college, did not have that background, and it wasn't a big priority. I'm one of 8 kids. And my one older sister and I were the only ones that went on to college. It wasn't something that was accepted or expected. Everybody's going to go to school. You had to really want to go. And the fact that the University of North Carolina system was an affordable system in the day, it's still a good bargain. But it was, you could pay for education on a summer job. Not your spending money, but you could get your tuition. It was something that was doable, and we need to get back. I think it's not a county commission issue, but when you mentioned that, Maureen, that was my first thought, is let's make it affordable. And I'm not saying everybody needs to go to college. There are lots of other career opportunities, in technical schools and things, but for those who want to go, you shouldn't have to graduate with $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 in student loan debt. I don't think it has to be that way. But got that off my chest, because that public education is very important. And again, I benefited from it from first grade up through my bachelor's degree. Then I got a PhD at Virginia Tech, another public school, and a master's in public health from UNC Chapel Hill. So I think our public institutions are just invaluable. my background, Rhonda comes from a business background, and I recognize a lot of what she says. My background has been science and academia until I decided to retire and run a bookstore. But the premises are the same. In science, and some of you may have heard me mention this before, in science, you gather facts, you make a decision, and you try not to let your initial premise or hypothesis color your results. So if you go into a research project saying the sky is Carolina blue, then all the research, and that's my belief, the sky is Carolina blue, then all the research I gather is going to support that, and some people tend to ignore anything that might, well, would never call it Duke blue, but I don't know what other color to use right now. Would never buy that argument that, because it doesn't fit with the premise that I'm working on. And in science, that's just not acceptable. In public policy, however, we seem to sometimes do that. And what I want to bring to the commission and my little campaign slogan is common sense and no nonsense for all of Polk County, is to look at things in a rational way, see what are the facts, what is beneficial. Have other places done this? Did it work? Are the places comparable to Polk County? There's some very unique things. We talk about employment in Polk County. When my husband and I first started, and my dad lived in Mill Spring until he died in 2004. And we had always come down, my kids spent time here. After he died, we were down taking care of the property, and I would find someone to, cut some trees or put in a fence. And one day my husband, Bobby, who is here by the way, said, is everybody in the county either self-employed or related to you so that you can call in favors? And I said, well, or I went to high school with them. But there is it is a unique situation in that when you talk about employment in Polk County, it's not just a few industries or a few institutions like the public school system. They're good, important employers. We also need to recognize that there are people who make their living as a self-employed small business person. And I would call myself self-employed, except that I'm not making any money at the bookstore. So, but as a small business person, you get another perspective on that. So I think all of those things are important. We do need to look toward, what's best for the future. Is it going down this way or that way? Is it making this decision to sell Lake Adger or making the decision not to sell Lake Adger? Is it, whatever the decisions are, I just wanted, and when Ray asked me what my motivation was, I want to be sure that we're getting the facts and we're making decisions that are based on reality and not just what someone wants so badly to happen. So, thank you. I think that's about it. My PhD is in microbiology, but I also worked in public health, and I'm thrilled to be joining. I believe I'm joining the district health department board. Again, public health is near and dear to my heart. So, thank you, and everybody go out and vote.
Okay, is anybody else show up? I think that's all of our candidates, huh?
Russell couldn't be.
Russell didn't make it. Russell Meyer, unfortunately. We do have Mary Jane Boyd, who's running against Ralph Heiss Jr. For the NC Senate, and that's a huge district. Oh my goodness! I mean, you think Marine has a big district? You ought to see that district. And Ralph Heiss, boy, I'd sure like to see him stay whole after the election. But both Penny and Rhonda touched on the importance of local due diligence in the decisions that are made. And people ask me, why do I keep doing it? Sometimes after you see what I've been through, and they say, how do you do it? And I say, well, I enjoy it. I don't know why, but I do it. I enjoy it.